Hello, my brothers and sisters, and welcome to another episode of Reverend Hagen's horrific cinematic dissection. I am, of course, Reverend Hagen, and as always, I'd like to welcome our listeners at SCRMradio.com. That's Scream. Radio.com for all your horror and paranormal needs. Today, we are going to be looking at 2017's Bright, Netflix Bright, directed by David Ayer and starring Will Smith, who's in just about everything for a while. His latest movie of note, I believe, would be Suicide Squad, as well as Joel Edgerton, who gave fantastic performances in Midnight Express, The Gift, The Great Gatsby, Black Mass. Check out Black Mass if you haven't seen it. Absolutely fantastic. Now, Bright takes place in modern day times in Los Angeles with a twist. In this world, elves, orcs, centaurs, fairies, they're all here with us. And there's kind of a pecking order. There's the elves, right, who are kind of the upper echelon of society. There's orcs who are at the very bottom of society for kind of throwing their hat in with evil 2,000 years ago. And humans that are in the middle. What's kind of cool about the orc story is that they treat that historically. No, orcs threw in with evil 2,000 years ago and sold out everybody else. And orcs are still paying the price for that. Will Smith's character, who is Daryl Ward, is a police officer partnered with the first orc cop, played by, of course, who's... The first orc cop's name is Nick Jacoby, but he's played by Joel Edgerton. Things quickly go awry when they go to a crime scene and discover a magic wand. A true magic wand. And to wield a wand, you have to be a Bright. Hence the title of the movie, Bright. Brights are usually elves, but they can be humans as well. And it just... Everybody, from that point on in the movie... Everybody's trying to kill these guys and get the wand. Gangbangers in L.A., elves, orcs, the FBI, the magic division of the FBI. It's just the police. It is absolute chaos. But this is an absolutely fantastic movie. The premise I thought was fantastic, and they totally pulled it off. Now, Will Smith pretty much plays Will Smith like he does in 90% of his movies. Now, there are some exceptions to that where he played Ali. He was also in, let me check my notes here. Ali, I can't remember, the Concussion was another one where he played an actual living person. And he pulled those off, and he is a good actor. But like little Tommy Cruise, most of the time he's just playing himself. Which is great because he's a really nice guy, very personable, and really throws himself into the movies as himself. Now, Joel, on the other hand, this guy playing the orc, it's not just the makeup. And the makeup in this whole movie is phenomenal, as well as the special effects. But you cannot recognize that it's got this guy from his voice, from the way he walks, the way he looks. I mean, in his facial expressions, even with all that makeup on, I had no idea it was this guy playing the orc cop, and he is fantastic. And just the idea of him desperately wanting approval from a world that's not going to give it to him. His own people don't like him because he's not bloodied. His father wasn't bloodied, and that means proving yourself in battle. The cops hate him because he's an orc on the force. Right? And they still believe that he sold out his people 2,000 years ago. Will Smith doesn't want to ride with him. But he still perseveres, and he still has a great heart. It's an absolutely fantastic movie. I could get into the whole racial issues that this thing brings up, and treating each other, well, and blah, 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 which is great. I don't mean to blah, 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 blah that, because that is great and important. But the storytelling in this is just phenomenal. You forget that that these things don't exist. This is special effects, and you buy it. You buy that this guy's an orc. You buy that there's fairies around. You buy these are elves. You see centaurs walking the street. Absolutely brilliant. And because of all this, of course, I'm going to give this movie 2 decomposing, dissected thumbs way up. I can't recommend it enough. I've told everybody after I watched it, can you believe Bright was on Netflix? You've got to check this out. This is a movie that I thought would be a huge, big budget movie. And who knows, it was for sure, but it wasn't released in theaters. And maybe that's the trend these days. It sure seems to be that way. I know they've already planned on making 2 more of these movies with these 2 characters in it, in this world. And I can't wait to see them. So that's Bright. That's it for this edition of Reverend Hagen's Horrific Cinematic Dissection. As always, keep it tuned to SCRMradio. That's SCRMradio.com. That's Scream Radio. And as always, have a truly terrible and terrifyingly terrific day. Keep those heads up, my brothers and sisters.